Boundless Authenticity Podcast.
Welcome to the Boundless Authenticity Podcast. Big thanks to everyone who continues to listen to every episode. It's because of you that this podcast is not just thriving, but growing. Don't forget to tell a friend who may like Boundless Authenticity and like and follow if you're new here. Also, if you're looking for deep dives that you can't get elsewhere, yeah, I got some special shit out there for you hiding. Don't worry. Our Spreaker Supporter Club and Patreon has the exclusive conversations that most people will never hear, so don't get left out and join whenever you feel like it. On this episode, I have with me the Trinity Oracles, who are known as the world's only trio of psychic sisters, who are some of YouTube's most accurate celebrity psychics. And these women combined have over 10 years of accomplishments. Is the psychic abilities making me not be able to talk? I'm telling you. And they have plenty of authentic predictions. Their accuracy and unique abilities have been showcased on their YouTube channel, Celebrity and World Predictions blog, and with over 7,000 plus clients worldwide. That's a lot. Holy smokes. So I'm just going to jump right into it and say that if you're looking for clarity in life and you want to learn how to read oracle cards, or maybe you're just curious about the latest pop culture gossip, Erika, Candace, and Jasmine are your spiritual besties. And now they're my besties. How's it going?
Yeah. Good. How are you? Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just sweating myself to death. It's like 100 degrees here in Barbados today. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have probably the most obvious question that I could ask you, just ready to go. And it's, what was it like growing up psychic? And, you know, can you share your earliest memories you have of realizing those abilities?
Well, we each kind of had our own psychic experiences. We didn't know that's what it was called. We just were like, oh, we're having these weird experiences. It wasn't until we got older that we actually like looked up some stuff and talked, and we're like, well, we're psychic.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I was walking and this guy was posting up signs of his dog, but I didn't see the signs of his dog. He just happened to walk by and he was like, hey, have you seen a dog running around here? Just let me know, call this number. And I was just like, okay. And I got the vision pop in my third eye, which I wasn't even, I didn't even know what that was. And it was like a little white poodle dog. And I'm like, you mean like little like white poodle? He goes, yeah, how'd you know that? And I was like, I don't know. And then I kept walking and I remember thinking, oh my God, I hope he doesn't think I stole his dog. So I didn't know it was, I was having psychic vision. I thought it was just random.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was mainly I would get feelings about people and then those feelings would come true. I just thought I was just judging people, but then I was able to pinpoint exactly how they were, even for like myself and for other people. My friends like, oh, the guy I liked, he's exactly like that. How'd you know? And I'm like, I don't know. I can just tell. I can just feel it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And for me, I've always known things. My friends knew I was psychic before I was psychic. I was often told I was like a wise soul. So like my friends were using me and I was so naive, and they'd be like, oh, what do you think about this guy? He asked me out. And I was like, he's like this, and this. And to be honest, yeah, you guys can get together, but it's not going to last. He's probably going to break up with you like this. And literally they'd be like, oh my God, Jasmine, he broke up with me in 4 months, exactly how you said. And he acted the same way that you said he would do it. And I was just like, oh, okay, what a coincidence. And then they would just always be like, asking me things. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then eventually, later on, like, I was just like, oh, this is what's going on here. Got it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm laughing, but it's not funny because this kind of shit really burns my nuts. I mean, my entire life, I know you guys are going to laugh at me a lot during this podcast, but this kind of stuff has happened to me as well throughout my life. And I've had people do the same thing. They're like, oh, you're judgmental, or you don't want me to have any fun, or you don't want me to have any friends. Or like most recently, like I have this thing that happens when I see something about someone that's not going to be good for me or somebody else. And it's like they're in a black circle in my mind's eye. And I usually tell the person, to watch out for this person or whatever. And usually people will stop talking to you because you were right about them or whatever. And then they'll come back like a few months later and they're like, You were right. And I was like, I didn't want to be right. I was just telling you, watch your ass so you don't get burned. And you know,
Exactly.
people don't like to listen. Is that kind of stuff
Yeah.
a lot?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Some people give like an essence of just untrustworthy energy, or some people give an essence of like you can trust them. They're just a really good person. You can feel their energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as skilled as you guys, so I'm not, you know, making any bread off of this. But you guys are lucky to be as skilled as you are. So besides the dog thing, though, are there any other moments that shaped you on that path?
Yes. When I was in high school, I started reading like meditation books, spirituality books, and also psychology books at the same time, which is actually funny. So when I started really meditating hardcore every single day, that's when I actually started hearing people talk to me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm schizophrenic. So the one whole year in high school, I thought I was schizophrenic, but I noticed I only started hearing voices and people talk to me, call my name when I was meditating. So I didn't know I actually connected to my angel and spirit guide, and they were just trying to give me a message, but it freaked me out.
So
It really happened at home. So I was like, oh my crazy.
So were you initially like, okay, I'm going crazy. What do I do next?
Yes, that's what I thought at first. But then I was sitting there one day and I was like, wait a minute, I only hear voices when I'm at home in my room meditating. Other than that, I don't hear anything. So I was like, okay. And then I did my research and I'm like, oh, I'm hearing spirits. So I'm not crazy. So that's why I figured it out.
Yeah, I can imagine just like looking under the bed and being like, what you want, sucker? And then there's nobody under there, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
They were talking super loud. I was just like, go away. But, I actually did tell them to go away. And they actually did go away though. So I was like, okay, I do have some control over this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stopped.
So literally, you're like, I hear dead people.
Yeah.
Literally, you're like the sixth
I
sense
was,
child.
I was scared. I started sleeping downstairs. I was actually scared. I was like, y'all can't take me.
I hear dead people. Oh no.
Yes.
For real, it was like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So for the other two, like, how did that manifest for you?
To be really honest, I was in high school at the time and I came home. I was scared. This was scary for me. Came home, ran upstairs to my room, was sitting on my floor and nobody was home. So I was like excited about that. I was like, oh, nobody's home. I get to, walk around the house, whatever. And I kept hearing this like loud breathing, this male breathing over and over again. So I thought it was me because I just ran upstairs. So I ended up closing my mouth, put my hand over my mouth, put my hand over my nose, and the breathing just kept intensifying. I left the house because I was like, I don't know what this is, but it scared me. So somebody was trying to communicate, but I was like, I wasn't ready for it. So.
Okay. And what about you?
Well, mine's like super freaky. I guess spirit had to knock me over my head to finally get me to understand like you're psychic. For me, I'll never forget. I was in like the Dollar Tree one day, and I'm standing in line. My mom's standing in line behind me, and literally, I always knew things. So my dominant clair is claircognizance. I never heard spirit, like never. So standing in line, and all of a sudden, I hear this big booming voice, like just like I can't even explain how loud it was. He was like, buy those playing cards. When I was standing in line, there was a pack of like regular just playing cards, and I was freaking out. I'm shaking. I look back at my mom. She's like, la 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 la. The cashier's la. I'm like, oh my God, nobody else heard this. So I just stood there in line, and all of a sudden I hear, buy those playing cards. And I'm like, I'm shaking. My hands are shaking. I go buy the cards. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I get home, and I'm like, I have the playing cards, and literally now I know it's Archangel Michael. And I was like, I have the playing cards. He literally was like, you can tell people's fortunes with those playing cards. And I kid you not, because this story is like either one of those, either you believe it or you don't. Like for me, I don't care if you don't believe it. It is what it is. So I'll never forget. I opened up the pack of playing cards, and I kid you not, I'll never forget. It was almost as if like this old memory reemerged. Like I knew, I pulled the King of Hearts, and I was like, King of Hearts means this. Queen of Hearts means this. Two of Spades means this. I knew. I will never forget that. So then I started like researching. I was like, what the heck? And then I found out it was called cartomancy. And I was like, And then I started testing it out with my friends, and I was like literally pulling cards and accurately things. And that's actually how I got started. I got kind of pushed into it. Like, it wasn't my choice.
You better get those damn cards.
That's right.
True.
Exactly. And what's crazy is I didn't hear spirit again for many years later. It's crazy. Like I always knew things, I would feel things, I would get visions, but hearing that voice again, it didn't come back until I don't even know when, but it took a couple years before I heard it again. And now it's all the time. I'm like, hey, boo. Thanks, boo.
Well, thank God it wasn't a spirit with a gambling addiction.
That is funny.
So I got to ask you, like, how do those strengths complement each other when you're doing readings?
Oh,
that's a good question.
It'd be fun because I'll put like this, like when we're doing like a celebrity reading or a reading for like a group reading for like a client, we do those rarely, but it's like, say if I get a vision of like the client might ask, what can I do to get more grounded? And I might get like a vision of them, running. And then Candace might, sense something else in regards to the running, but you might want to add, join a track team. So I see her running, but Candace gets the feeling she needs to join a track team or like cross country. So it's like each of us will get like pieces that build upon the other's answer, but sometimes one person will just answer. They're just like, I got the same thing.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
So it's like we'll both get like all three of us with the information all at the same time, but in different ways.
That's pretty nice. Do you ever have times where it doesn't work like that? Do you ever like argue and you're like, well, my spirit said it's this. And you said, no, you're wrong.
No, but sometimes we'll get like different time frames. So what I mean by that is, say if you're like, oh, when is love coming in my life? Well, spirit might tell me, their spirit guides might say, love is coming in the next 2 years, but Candace will receive, but in 4 years, you're going to get married. And like, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting somebody to be in 2 years, but I don't see that's going to last long. And Candace like, yeah, but I see you getting married in 4 years. Someone is coming in about, 7.5 months after, and then you get married. So we will receive those different time frames. We're able to understand what is we're able to differentiate with the information and the timelines.
Okay, that's
it's kind of like a telepathic thing going on.
The what?
It's like a telepathic thing going on. It says no, it's not, but it's a spirit able to just give it to us each so we can give that complete information.
Okay, so is there like a particular process that you guys go through every time, or is it just random stuff?
For me, I like to with shamanism, they call it the word coaching, which is like your own personal bubble. I like to go into my personal bubble. And then I'm like, okay, tell me about, the client, spirit guides, angels, ancestors of their highest good only, I'm doing this reading for them. You want to come in and give messages, you can. And then when I'm done, I close it up. And then I move on to the next person. I'm moving on about my day. So
before I'm about to do readings, I always watch something funny. So I love watching the Golden Girls, or I'll watch Maury Povich. Anything just make me laugh and raise my vibration, that really gets me in a good mood. And it was a great reading.
Isn't it crazy that Maury Povich would raise her vibration?
It's hilarious.
I know, right? It is funny.
And who acts like that? Yeah, and it's funny.
It's a chicken tetrazzine.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes. And then for me, I'm dancing. I'm either dancing to African drumming, raindrops, or I'll just turn on some R&B or something, and I just dance. And then sometimes I just sit at the window. It just depends on how I feel. Like, I need to move my body. And it gets me, my information, gets me centered, it gets me grounded. It's like, just looking at the clouds, and I'm like, all right, this is good. I'm present. And then I'm ready to just rock and roll. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
So how often do you guys get, I don't know, emotionally involved or feel affected by something that you're working with a client? And, does it throw you off, or does it enhance your abilities? How does that work?
It depends on what we're telling. I mean, I don't really get emotionally. It depends on what you're actually telling them. It's something like, I see someone in your family dying. Obviously, that's sad, but you have to learn how to use discernment and learn how to deliver the message correctly to them. But I mean, do I get like super sad? No, I just feel bad for them. But death is part of life. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I've learned. It was a learned thing. At first, it'd be like, oh my God, I'm scared to say this, or oh my God. But after a while, you had to like learn that Spirit's giving you this information for a reason. And I'm not understanding why Spirit wants to give them this information, but Spirit knows, they are above, they can see, and they're like, I can see further than what your mind is trying to understand with this. So I've learned to I don't want to say disassociate. That is the wrong word. But it's almost like, you just kind of like, well, I got to give it to you, and we've learned over time that information, though, is what's needed. Like, people will give us confirmation. Oh, my God, you were right about that. Oh, yes, I was feeling that anyway. So it's like once we started getting that positive feedback and getting more confident, now it's like, yeah, you just do it. I mean, sometimes you feel bad, but you still don't get emotionally, like, I know what you're trying to say. You don't get emotionally attached to it. You just got to keep moving and be ready for the next client, or get ready and move on with your life. You got other things that you need to do,
I guess this stuff just happens anyway, that you would never be able to predict what you're going to find out anyways, which is kind of funny because you can't be psychic about being psychic, right? You're just going to do stuff and you got to figure out what to do with it on the fly or you'll be in a lot of trouble. But tell me about the celebrity and world predictions. How did that start? Were you just walking down the street one day and then you were like, oh shit, Brad Pitt, like.
No. Oh, Spirit. Oh, God, I would say Spirit forced us, but they did it. We had a choice. But Archangel Michael, Jesus, they came to me. I was already doing readings myself. I had my own business going on. And Spirit was literally like, go on YouTube and do celebrity readings. And I was like, oh my God, I do not want to do that. I'd rather talk about spiritual topics. So I used to be doing spiritual topics and stuff like that. And they were like, do celebrity readings. I was like, oh my God. So, I followed what they said. And then I realized why they were making us do it. Because we could give crap, what I say, 2 craps about celebrities. Like, we do not care. We'll get on YouTube and we're like, yeah, we're doing a reading on who was this?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. We don't even know 99% of these people that we're talking about, but Spirit had actually used it to, how do I explain it? Like, we do the celebrity readings, people see us, they see that we're accurate, and then they come get a reading from us. And Archangel Michael's like, bingo, got you. Like, we've been trying to give you this message for the last year or two.
People love celebrity. They're obsessed with celebrity.
And then they come see us, and Spirit's like, fine, look, go to school and be, get into construction and you'll become an architect. And they're like, oh my God, I've been thinking about that. So Spirit use this to grab the people. We like to call ourselves like, what, God's HR, Spirit Guides HR, because not everybody's into the spiritual guru. Not everybody's watching all that stuff. They might just want to sit there and eat popcorn and watch about the Kardashians. And Spirit's like, gotcha.
Yeah, so a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, that reading you did was so good. I knew I had the book once I heard that. And then when we do the readings, they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are actually legit. So
exactly. And they get the message of Spirit has been trying to give them, that they would not have been able to receive. So in a funny way, we're actually doing our higher calling through what people would consider the most low vibrational thing is celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny because I found that those kinds of people are the worst when you're trying to reach them. Like, you got to find some kind of a trigger. So yeah, Spirit, you're definitely on one.
For real. I was doing all sorts of spiritual topics and they were just like, do celebrity readings. I was just
the first video you did R. Kelly?
No. R. Kelly, no. It was 90 Day Fiancé, Darcy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I cannot believe this.
Okay, so a lot of clients have been really impressed. I think I read something about one of them said they were blown away by your accuracy. And was it Jasmine that predicted something about a move to Hawaii that transformed this person's life?
Oh,
you remember that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, she was asking. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. She was like, where should my family go? And they just kept showing me like Hawaii, and they went to Hawaii. And I mean, they were just like, I enjoyed myself. Like, wow. Oh my God. And they never thought they could afford Hawaii. And they were like, we ended up doing the research and we were like, oh my God, we can afford this. This has been me and my husband's dream for so long. And she was like, how did you get Hawaii? And I was like, they told me. And they said, you can do it. And they did it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So how do you go about building trust with your clients though? Apart from like, telling them about celebrities and stuff, what are some other things you do?
Well, they trust us because we're accurate about the celebrity, so that therefore they trust that we can be accurate for them.
Because we have so many. Our website has hundreds, but to be honest, we have thousands of correct predictions. We don't even remember what we say.
People you said this, and we're like, when did we say that? We got to go back to the video, a year ago, 2 years ago, and be like, oh yeah, we did say that.
Yeah, and they trust us. They always tell us like we feel like we're talking to like a friend or a family. They we can feel like you guys are genuine. And a lot of people do word of mouth. They spread us word of mouth, like, oh, my mom got a reading, my sister, it's my turn next.
Yeah, it's true though. You guys are really cool. I didn't have to do anything to break the ice. I just started talking and y'all were on it.
We love to laugh. I think that's our main thing. We love a good laugh.
Well, it's a good thing I'm funny then.
Yes.
So how do you, individually, I would like for you to answer this question. How do you cope with just the responsibility that comes with this? Because I can imagine it's difficult to be laying in your bed 3 a.m. and all of a sudden you get a message or a vision or something, or you're like, please just shut up. I want to sleep. Does that ever happen?
Yeah. I shut that off. Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah,
I know you have to create we call parameters, boundaries with them, and basically be like, hey, I only talk to me if I'm doing a reading for a client. Don't come at me at 3 a.m. or something. Even if it does happen rarely, I'll tell them to tell me in the morning.
And also for me, when you are channeling the message you give, that person, I had to realize that person could take the message you give them or not. You might tell them, hey, I think you should go to medical school. And they're like, get off the phone. They're like, I'm not going to medical school. But, they have free will. So,
Spiritual boundaries.
Yeah. I only get messages when it's important. So they'll wake me up at 3 a.m. and they're like, hey, look, tell this family member da-da-da-da-da-da. Or, tell this person's friend, da-da-da-da-da. It's very important things. I don't want to say I had to set boundaries per se. It's more of, they'll tell me we got to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And I will sit 8 o'clock at night. I get my pen, my paper, I'm writing, stuff like that. I had to learn the lesson though of when I was connecting in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's me connected to the Akashic Records 24/7. So I had to learn. It was a lesson for me. It was a lesson. Oh, Jasmine, you're still psychically connected. Get grounded, disconnect. So I had to create boundaries for myself. For me, it wasn't boundaries with spirit. It was for myself. And then when it came to mediumship though, I had to create boundaries in the beginning, because you would see deceased loved ones coming, not of my loved ones, of other clients' loved ones. They try and give me some messages I didn't know a client was coming the next day, and they would give me messages, and I just go back to sleep. And then when I talk to the client, I'm like, oh yeah, you're the one they were telling me about. So I had to create that boundary for myself because I was too open. I think I was actually going through a lesson. So it wasn't more of spirit getting in my way. They were like, we're going to keep doing this to you, keep doing this to you, until you learn to create a boundary for yourself.
Okay. And with the boundaries, I imagine each of you has a specific process that you go through in order to be like, okay, I'm done working for today. What's that look like?
For me, I start dancing. I'm not even going to lie. I'm dancing. And as I'm dancing, anybody's energy I don't get people's energy on me. But if I do have a little something, I'm just dancing. I'm just shaking it off. Or I'll go outside and kind of, just shake off anything. But most of the time, to be honest, when I finish, I just get up and start doing something. I'm like, okay, I need to go wash the dishes. Or I need to go do some laundry. Or I'll go for a quick walk. So that's more of me, which is kind of a grounding process of me just let me get out of the psychic realm and come back in the physical realm. Because I do not like being connected all the time. I do not like driving and receiving something. I do not like washing dishes and receiving something. I hate that. I'm like, I am done. Only time something needs to come to me if it is necessary. If I'm driving, something comes to me, it must be really important. If I'm washing dishes and something comes to me, it must be important.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, I will leave my space where I do the readings at, and I'll say like, I'm done. Thank you for showing up. Whoever decided to show up, but I'm done. So that's how I do it.
But we all connect to their spirit guides. We learn how to. So we're not connected to the client. We're connected to the client's spirit guide. So therefore, we don't drain our energy. Exactly. That's the secret. So
take on their energy either.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of psychics do. They connect with the client's energy. And like, oh my God, I'm so drained. It's like you should connect your spirit guides. That's what we all do. And I'm done. I'm just like, oh, thank you guys. And I just wrap it up, and that's about all I do. Nothing special.
Exactly. Because to be honest, we can read like 100 clients. We've done it before. Well, I've done it before. I've read like 100 clients, and I'm energetic right after. I'm not tired. I'm not drained, exhausted. I'm just like, I can do some more. Yeah. But I can't do more because they're like, I'm over it. I'm tired of it.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. So yeah, we don't get exhausted at all.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like you guys have got a lot of good energy working for you. I'm surprised my spirit guides aren't over there yelling at you right now, like, tell me something. But we just went through what I think would be one of the darkest times for this generation or generations of people, the whole pandemic thing. How did you guys deal with the darkness of that? Did you get a lot of people bugging you during that time? Like, tell us what's going to happen next.
To be honest,
I don't think so, actually.
I don't think so.
I don't remember getting anybody, actually.
We have the typical same old, like, what's happening with love, what's happening with career.
Yeah. A lot of people just want to know, are they going to have to return back to work? Is their job secure? That's what most people nowadays with the political climate, most people were just wondering, like, is their job secure? But during COVID, it was mostly the same thing. Like, I'm here. Am I going to find love? When is this thing going to be over? Yeah. That's really what it is. Am I going to get sick? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. People were in a pretty much a good mood.
Yeah, the views we had.
Yeah.
So pretty tame stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have any positive messages for the world?
Ooh. Okay.
One thing Spirit said was that pay attention to the cycles in life. Like everything, history repeats itself, life repeats itself, and it's like up to you to be the change you want to see, and don't believe that you can't change something.
There's a breast cancer cure coming. The women in the collective will sigh a big relief when this breast cancer cure comes. I don't want to say it's a sigh of, I don't want to say it's going to be a domino effect, but once there's a breast cancer cure, there's going to be other cures coming after for different types of cancer. And I keep seeing a vaccine. They always keep showing me a vaccine. So I feel like I haven't looked deeper into it, but I don't know if like the vaccine is going to be something that prevents cancer, or if the vaccine is something that actually like cures, the cancer. And there's also going to be an autism cure from, I would say 10 to about, it's a 10 to 17 year time span, more like 12 to about 17 year time span. It's going to happen in layers. So it's like, okay, this cure can fix this portion of the autism spectrum. And then maybe 2 or 3 years later, okay, this cure can cure this portion of the autism spectrum. And they keep showing that those who have autism, though, who do get cured, they will have to be in lifelong therapy. There is going to be some portions of the autism community that are not able to be cured in that 12 to 17 year time frame that it will be coming, but eventually something will be coming like healing for them. And also don't fear AI. AI is going to do wonders for humanity. And humanity is actually going to speed up, and it's going to cause actually a evolution in humanity. I just got that. They're like, there's going to be an evolution in humanity.
I believe
with
it.
AI. They keep showing me organs. Regenerative organs are coming because of AI.
Like, I hope so.
They just say or like body organs.
Body organs.
Okay, sorry. I think you said like organ. Yeah, sorry.
Regenerative organs will be coming.
Spirit always says people need to have more fun and learn to have balance in their life. Some people, they just work 9 to 5 and they go home, watch Netflix on the weekend, watch Netflix, and they do the same thing all the time. Spirit's like, please have fun with your life. Life is short. Go do something. Find a hobby. And they said there is going to be in the future for women a fertility like vitamin or some concoction someone's coming up and they said it's going to cure a lot of women of infertility. And they said women are going to be having like multiples back to back. There's going to be like a baby craze.
Okay, so
good things coming. So we got good things coming.
Yeah, you got a lot of good things coming, it sounds like, which is a relief. What does Spirit have to say about the current political environment and where that's all going to? I'm not gonna call no names.
The first thing in terms of politics, if you want to hear something positive that's going to come of this, they said all of this fear that is happening for certain demographics and certain types of people, they said that this political climate is going to create, you may not hear it on the news though, will create the biggest surplus of millionaires. They said the fear is actually going to push some people into overdrive and be like, oh my God, I need to create a business. Oh my God, I need to find a hustle. Oh my goodness. And people are really going to start waking up to making more money. So more people are going to become affluent. There's also going to be people who actually are being pushed into their life purpose. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't rely on the government. You know, I might finally go be that doctor that I've always wanted to be. And lo and behold, boom, that fear or that distrust made you actually go and like, I'll be a doctor. I feel like that's more secure. And boom, it's like you're the best doctor ever, you know? So that's what's going to be happening.
We've seen a lot more communities, like people actually coming together and actually meaning it. They say a lot of more of, I'm going to say, is that intergenerational where it's like grandparents, they live with the kid, you know, they live with their kids or kids. This is going to be like a lot of like communities where like families stick together and communities stick together. They're like, what's going to happen? We have to stick together.
Yeah. Spirit says people need to remember the past. They say, yes, right now it's troublesome, but they said in the past with presidents, kings, queens, it was 100 times worse. They were, you know, slaughtering people, beheading people in public. So they're like, it is, you know, it's crazy now, but it was crazier even back then. So they said people need to remember the past.
Yes. They said there's going to be a housing surplus, though, in certain parts of America.
Did you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
Do you hear that leaf blower in the background?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they said this housing surplus in certain parts of the country will lead to like an oversupply. So people could be slashing prices, but it's not going to be like major amounts. But there is going to be a housing surplus only in certain areas. People are always wondering if Trump is going to die. Trump is going to live his entire he's going to be alive during his entire 4-year presidency. There is a health risk coming for him. But they said this health risk, people will be like, oh my God, Donald Trump's about to die because of this like health risk or something of that nature. And they said actually he's going to survive whatever health debacle comes for him during his presidential term.
Very interesting. Okay, so let me stump you with this question. Any predictions for this podcast?
Spirit said collaboration.
Okay. There's another podcast coming for you. I almost want to call it like a spinoff. So there's another idea. You may even involve a significant other. And it's actually going to do well. You're just like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I didn't think of this beforehand. So you're going to have double the revenue coming in. But also that other podcast that comes along, they said it's like, you're not going to let go of this podcast. But I feel like you're like, because you may get more listeners and viewers than you do this current podcast. So you're going to try and figure out a way. You're going to be wondering, should I like more this podcast? Like it's doing well, but should I just focus on this with my significant other? Yeah. And the Spirit says you're going to actually kind of be back and forth. And they're like, eventually you're going to be like, you know what? No, I like this. I like having my own, but I also like having this, you know, with my partner, my significant other.
Co-collaboration is key for you for bigger success.
Exactly. I don't know. Do you do healing, or your significant other do healing? Do you do healing retreats? Because there is something about spiritual and healing retreats, but I feel there is
Spirit keeps mentioning, like, I don't know if you're interested in ghost hunting, but Spirit keeps saying that you, like, people like that you do like something funny with like ghost hunting. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Funny.
Yeah, we have like the little, it's like a spirit box or like the dowels or what something. Yeah. Showing you like doing something that you'll be funny if people will like it.
That's funny. No, I've never been into ghost hunting or anything like that. I had a conversation yesterday with a friend who's actually done an episode on the podcast, and he has all these different UFO and like Bigfoot experiences and stuff, and he wants to come here and go exploring. I don't know if that's what they're alluding to.
Yeah, because they keep saying you're going to be different places, but they mentioned ghost hunting,
and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Who's the healer around you?
Me.
Okay, I see you doing a healing retreat. Right. I see it. Yeah,
that's relevant. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why before you continue, because I've asked several guests that have been on this podcast, would you ever be interested in doing a kind of like a conference thing where you all get together and showcase what you can do for people, you know?
Yeah. They said, they just touched me. They said, this is going to be big, but you need to take time and really like put effort in. Not saying you won't put effort in, but they're like, really take time and really put effort into like, okay, who are qualified practitioners? That's what they said. Like, who's qualified? Let me test them out, or let me read their reviews. Let me like, that's what I'm getting. And they keep showing, make sure that it's East meets West. So Eastern healing traditions and also Western healing traditions. They keep saying, do not forget the West. Do not forget the West. They're just as possible. And there's a gentleman here. Feels like a fatherly figure is coming through. It feels like a father, but it could be like a grandfather or someone who was like a father for you who is deceased on the other side. And they keep telling me to tell you, please watch out for your cousin.
Please watch out for my cousin.
Yes, not like in a bad way, like look out for them.
Damn, I don't know who that could be.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're like, look out for your cousins. Look out for your cousins.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will do that.
Yes.
Okay, it could be my grandfather. I don't imagine that my father would say anything like that.
They could, because when they go to the other side, it's like they lose the human ego. Yeah, the veil goes away, and they actually like can see like, oh my God, and they get healed a lot too.
Oh God, I hope so for his sake. That's just facts.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they said there could be a cousin. There's a cousin who because I see you sitting by their bedside, like a hospital bed. Someone could be getting sick, and they're like, please look out for them. Please be by their side. They're going to be okay, but they're like, please be by their side. Look out for this family member. Mm-hmm. And they say, you'll know who it is because you'll have a dream. Because you have prophetic dreams sometimes.
Or
like visions in your dreams. Yeah. So they said, they're like, as you're sleeping, you're going to have a vision like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is about to be hospitalized. That's the family member. Please look out for them because they will look out for you.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Also, Spirit keeps mentioning, I don't know if you like the show Jackass. Because they keep mentioning something like Steve-O. Like reacting to people doing silly stuff.
Really? No.
Yeah.
I've never been into Jackass, really.
Okay. I was just, they keep saying like Steve-O, Jackass. What are you talking about?
That's funny, though.
Yeah.
That's funny. I guess I'll figure it out when I get there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you have anything here?
Oh, no, I was just saying about the co-collaboration thing. Mm-hmm. That's key for you to build your business up quicker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well. As they say, forearmed is forearmed, right? So, okay, well, great. Thanks for being on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you would like for people to know right now?
We have an Oracle Card Readers Academy. People always want to know how they connect their spirit guides. We made an exclusive meditation just for them. Connect with their spirit guides, their angels, and finally remove psychic blocks so that they can take on their own power, learn how to read their cards, and help help themselves and help other people.
Yes. And we have a code. Use the code Trinity. You'll get 10% off that course. If you'd like to book your own personal reading, one of the Trinity Oracles, you go to trinityoracles.com, but you can also use the code Trinity to get 10% off any service that we offer. And join us on YouTube.
Yeah, Patreon, we have a lot of juicy stuff. Patreon, a lot of juicy stuff.
Yeah, stuff we cannot put on YouTube goes on Patreon, like channeling the devil and Jesus and UFOs and all sorts of stuff. That's under Trinity Oracles, too. Yeah. Oh, but Spirit did say, Spirit said, Archangel Michael told me to tell everybody, please watch your back in this economy, though. It's imperative that you do. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for being on the Boundless Authenticity podcast. I think this is probably one of the most fun episodes I've ever done. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Boundless Authenticity podcast, where we discuss everything related to the evolution of human consciousness.
At the very least, people need to understand that the United States builds bunkers, which are basically cities underground, every 3 months.
Basically, when you dream, you tap into your subconscious. It is your nocturnal intuition, your creativity and imagination unchained from conscious reason, ego and logic.
They're biologically alive, but they have no soul. They have AI consciousness. They can alter your consciousness of the brain to get the brain.
We live in a multidimensional reality, whether it comes through esoteric information in the spiritual realms or the UFO people, experiencers, or mainstream through quantum physics and through mainstream science now realizing that parallel dimensions probably exist.
We're all spiritual beings. We're all having these human experiences. We've heard that phrase over and over and over. But what does that really mean? All the big questions of life, we have these answers inside of our souls.
We're ultimately studying the nature of what it is to be human, good and evil, our psychology, how we think, and our health. That's why I love Bruce Lee's great quote, all knowledge is ultimately self-knowledge.
The Boundless Authenticity podcast.